Hey everybody, welcome back to Is It a Buy, where we talk about stocks and try to determine if they are worth a buy or maybe a pass. My name is Corey. I just like to preface the video by saying I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who likes to talk about stocks, so please take what I say with a grain of salt, all right? Let's get into the video. Today, I do want to talk about a very theoretical topic, so just take it very slowly, everything with a grain of salt, all right? Keep in mind, no one knows what's going to happen. No one knows, even if there is going to be a squeeze. I do really do think there is going to be a squeeze, but just take that for what it is, and let's just get into it. Okay, so this is how not to mess up the MOASS, the mother of all short squeezes. Okay, this applies for AMC, GameStop, anything that is heavily shorted right now that you think is going to run. All right, so let's take a look. So huge shout out, by the way, to this person right here, EWBA Uba, for coming up with these thoughts. Okay, and so I went ahead and opened it here, and so don't worry about everything that you're seeing here, a bunch of different stuff, but let's get into what you're basically going to see. Right, you won't have the full picture. I think that's the biggest issue that most people have, even when trading others, just in regular, just regularly with the stock market. They think they can time the bottom. They think they can time the top. They, even whenever the stock was kind of trading sideways, they thought they could buy it. Let's say GameStop. They thought they could buy it at 250. Sell it at 250, buy back in at 100, and if it continued to run, I saw a few. Actually, on my stream, we saw that happen one time where somebody, it was dropping for the day. They sold at, I think it was like 160, and it ran to 190, and now they lost money, and then they had to buy in higher, and it's an easy way to lose money trying to time it. Okay, so there are ways to get around that, whether it be averaging down, selling on the way down, a bunch of different things. So let's talk about a few possibilities, right? So whenever this squeeze starts happening, right, when and if it starts happening, you're going to see something like this, right? And you're not even going to see something like this because realistically, you'll just see this little part right here. This is all you're going to see. Don't worry about all the stuff to the right, because this right here, you can kind of see, okay, well, there's room to go up and yada, yada. You're just going to see this, and it's going to look really, really good. It's going to just say, holy smokes, we're running. And, I'm not going to give this a number. Just understand you're going to see it go up, and it's going to look like, holy smokes, this is insane. And that's what you'll see, right? So then, you may see this start to dip, and what are you going to do? Are you going to sell here? Are you going to continue to hold? Because for all you know, this is the peak. This is, 10 million. And then it's going to start dropping. And then, what are you going to do? You're going to sell right here. Or maybe this is 500. And what are you going to do? Are you going to sell after it goes down, and then, it's going to run up? Or maybe it's going to run down and continue to climb. You don't know which way it's going to go, right? So this is why it's important to kind of think about these different scenarios and really have a plan. This is where we talk about the floor, right? Let's say this is your floor right here, this line, and you sell whenever it gets back down here. Let's say this is $5,000, whatever, and it runs all the way up to 10,000, and you're like, you know what? If it goes higher, then excellent. But if it goes lower, I'll just sell at my floor and be happy with my gains. Okay, and now let's go ahead and continue. So this is what you're going to see, right? Something along these lines. You don't know what's going to happen, and it's scary. It's so much anxiety is going to happen. And so let's just talk about it. And this person just kind of goes into all the questions you're going to ask. Where's the mountain? Where's the top? Is this the top already? Like, is it starting to crash? Should I sell? And so they say, stop trying to figure out where the peak is. Just you will not sell at the peak. And what you would hate to do is sell. Let's say you sell here, right? And you think it's the peak. Let's say you think this peak is, $200 and you're just happy with it. You're like, you know what, I'm out. Well, what if it dips down here and it runs to, $10,000 or something? Well, hopefully you're happy there, but dang, you just missed out. So what you want to do is maximize your profits, right? And so, and you can do that. There's game theory that you can do to theoretically maximize the profits. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's break this down little by little. Okay. So let's see. So don't worry about the text and stuff. We'll get into the text, but I just want you guys to take a look at this right here. So this is what we're seeing, right? It's starting to run, and keep in mind, it's not just going to be like huge green candles that we may see some very, very large green candles, but it's not just going to be oh, it's green and, everything is good. It's going to the moon and it's like, and nothing gets scary. Yeah, it's going to be scary in the moment, especially if you're watching that chart all day. It's going to go up and down. And for all you know, it's going to retrace 50, 75%, and then it'll run again, or it'll continue to go down. So, it's, again, a lot of theory, and just follow me here. So let's say it runs and then it dips. Okay, well, what are you going to do with this dip? You're going to hold, or you're going to see if it recovers. What if it dips some more? And then it's going to be slow, right? Because you're going to start here. And so just watch what you're seeing right here. It's going to go, and it's like, okay, it's going down a little bit, and then, okay, going up. And I'm sure it'll go down a few times in between here. And then it'll have like a good little run. And then it'll peak out, start to dip. And then what's going to happen next? Is it from here? Is it going to keep on going down or go up? I have no clue. So let's see. Okay, continue to run down. It's looking a little scary. What are you going to do? You're going to sell here? Okay, we bottomed out for a second. Is it gonna fake bounce and then continue to run down? Let's see. Okay, starting to run up. Okay, feel good about this. Okay, so now we've reached your floor. Let's say you've reached your floor right here, whatever it may be, and now it just bounced, right? So, if you would have sold here whenever it was going down, well, now you just missed out on all these gains, right? So you just missed out on all these gains. And then it's just kind of bouncing here. So let's say it bounces here, and then it continues to run. Let's say you sold out here. This is what this part is saying right here. If you sold out here, you wouldn't be very happy, essentially. And then it continues to run. So long story, very long, I guess, because the explanation is you don't know where it's going to go. And you may be happy selling here, and you're good. Maybe you made $1 million, couple $1 million, depending on what these numbers actually are, and you're feeling good. But you just need to make sure that you're prepared for everything, okay? Of which way it's going to go, how you think it's going to bounce, what your floor is, your exit strategy, and just thinking about it, because it's easy to hold right now. Even in the red, for me personally, it's easy to hold because I think that there's going to be a huge movement very soon, relatively soon, and it's going to bounce. So here, and this is again just a theory. There's maybe it'll plateau, maybe it'll bounce a little bit. Maybe it'll start to dip, and then what this person is saying is you could start selling a little bit. Once you're past your floor, you feel super good about your position. You don't have to hold it all. You don't have to sell it all in one lump sum, right? You can sell theoretically, right? Even if you wanted to sell a few shares on the way up, you could do that as well. Now, as far as, from a technical perspective, from the squeeze, it would show some selling pressure that people don't want the stock anymore. And so it may mess it up a little bit just to kind of level it out. But theoretically, they're going to have to continue to buy as long as they're margin calling themselves, and it's going to continue to run. But again, and you have to do what's right for your personal situation. If you need to recover all your money on the way up, then you need to recover your money. It is what it is. And on the way down, you can start selling a little bit here, and they sell a little bit here. Now, here's the question. So you're going to sell here, maybe a little bit, maybe the whole thing. Now, what happens if you sold a little bit here, sold more here, and you're like, you know what, I'm out. Like, I'm not feeling good about this. I know I'm past my floor, but I feel good about this. So what you could do is it could go either way. It can continue to run down and you sold at a good place, or it could continue to run. And I'm just going to go ahead and remove this. And you can see like the different possibilities. And I know this is a lot of theory, but I just want to show people, you could even raise your own floor. If you're happy with, let's say you want to move this floor all the way up to here, and this is, at this price, you'll make $5 million or whatever it would be, and you feel good about this, then you can do that. And this way, if it continues to run, well, then you can continue to raise your floor. But if it just drops, then at least you still have your floor to sell at. Okay. And so just a bunch of different things. And it could, these saying you can rinse and repeat, wait for a plateau, different things like that. But I just want to show you guys a bunch of the different options. I'm going to have this in the description, this link to both of these. I'm going to show you something else actually that's pretty cool. And it's kind of just ways of framing your mentality for this, okay? And again, this is just super, super, super theoretical. Definitely not to like, how everyone was taking the VW squeeze and kind of like holding them side by side with the AMC GameStop squeezes and stuff like that. So not exactly the right way to play it. But You can just see a bunch of different theories just to get you thinking about it a little bit more. Because like I said, right now it's easy to hold whenever, we kind of have nothing to lose, especially if you're anticipating a squeeze. But there's a lot of things coming. Okay, there's going to be a lot of time, a lot of anxiety whenever this starts to come. And I like this one because they say potential sell points. If you want to start selling a little bit, and then if it runs, you know what, you're good. You can continue to just make profits. Okay, now they did just create this. It looks like they just posted this an hour ago. I tried to comment on it to give them a little bit of praise, but unfortunately I don't have enough karma, so that's okay. So take a look here, and you can kind of see it's a little mini game, and so you can go to the next day here. And so I tried this a few times just to see what it was kind of like. And so what you do is you kind of hold the shares and you try to do this, and you can kind of speed it up to see where it's going to go. And it just kind of goes everywhere. So if you start over, you can kind of like accept all the disclaimers, continue, and then it says you're starting with 15 shares, and you can change these numbers. Your average purchase of a share is $150, and you have $1,500 left on your bank account. And you can go here, you can do a market sell, a limit sell, you can buy, sell. Another thing actually that they mentioned that this just reminded me of is market versus limit sells. Okay, they highly recommend limit sells. This way it fills it at the limit price. For example, let's say it's at $10,000 and you want to sell at $10,000. You don't want to do a market price because market prices get a little bit shaky whenever it comes to, now they say they try to fill it at the best price, but best is relative. Okay, you don't know exactly where you're gonna fill it at. So they highly recommend limit prices, and it actually it makes a lot of sense if you think about how a limit price will work, because it will only sell it at what your limit is, what you're willing to get rid of it at. Okay, so fun little mini game. You can kind of speed things up here. You can kind of just this way you can go, but and it have like silly things, and you can like ignore this, and has like little jokes and stuff that makes you pause. But sitting here at one speed, and this is going to be the entire day right here, and just kind of like waiting for it. Now granted, I don't know how good this game is. I played it a few times, and holy smokes, I did not do well. I missed it, and then I sold too early, and then so it's hard, right? But I'm gonna do this for a few times. I'm gonna practice this, and I'm going to see if it actually helps me with the squeeze. I'll update you guys on my results if I get any better at holding or timing anything at all, or getting a higher average price. But sometimes this game, the times that I played it, the squeeze was at a couple $100, and the next time it went to, the last time I was just playing it went to like 30 million. So you don't know where and I wasn't even done with it. It was continuing to run. So you don't know which way it's going to go. So this game is pretty cool, and it has the market versus the limits, and you can choose how many shares, you can choose the speed. But what I'm getting at is holding here and just watching this. And remember, this is going to go 10 times slower, a million times slower than what it's actually moving here on the day. But you can kind of see, and I'm going to take this game seriously and see if it holds any weight. But we'll go ahead and take a look. So huge shout out to user EWBA, for making this stuff. I really appreciate all these tools, and hopefully they're going to be very useful, and hopefully I can go through a few scenarios where I'll feel comfortable and I'll feel good whenever the time comes. Okay, but that is what I have for you guys. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of theory crafting. I know it's super theoretical, but I do like this kind of game theory stuff, that we can think of it, because I think it's not going to be easy when the time comes. Right now it's easy because it's flat, we're holding, nothing to do. But whenever this time comes, it starts to run, that is when the real stuff happens. Okay, but that is what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you did like the content, please consider subscribing. I'm doing my best to cover the squeeze and all these different kinds of DDs and stuff. Also, if you wouldn't mind dropping a like, that really helps me with that YouTube algorithm, and getting everything taken care of here. And as you can see, it's running right here. But again, thank you guys so much for taking the time to hang out with me. You guys have a great day. Peace.